second aspect I would focus on really is ease of doing business, and here making sure that we understand, especially here in Delhi University. I want to explain, so that you understand some of the nuances. I'm sure, maybe during Q&A we can talk about this. Many times there is this artificial narrative that is created between wealth creation and what is good for citizens. The narrative is that is put is, there are industrialist X is growing or industrialist Y is growing, what about common people? Here I want to actually point out, again, I urge you to think carefully about, and that's the whole point of your education. Let me go back to my own, my childhood. I come from a lower middle class family. We used to get, a lady who used to come and, wash dishes for my mother. Some months we would be able to hire her, some months we would not. But even in the months where we were able to hire her, she used to work in nine other houses, doing the same work. In other words, each of us lower middle class family was providing 1/10 of a household help's job. In contrast, the jeweler that we had in our town, in the small town I lived in, he provided about 100 jobs both in his business and and at home. So in other words, in terms of the quantity, that wealth creator, we were not creating much wealth at all as a lower middle class family, but that wealth creator was providing 1,000 times as many jobs as compared to the lower middle class family. Also think about it actually, and this is an exhortation to students here. I'm sure there will be some students who might want to go and work with the government, but a large majority of you will go and work with the private sector. If for instance the industrialists that have started that company, or maybe the shareholders who basically are creating that wealth, if they don't create the companies, where will you get your jobs? So it's really, when you start thinking about, or maybe go about your ideological aspects of saying, wealth creation is contrary to what is good for citizens, I think it is important to start understanding. And by the way, let me tell you, in my 25 years of academic career, I have never gotten even a rupee from any industrialist. Not a single consulting project I've done. So what I'm saying is actually not in the interest of any industrialist, but in the interest of the economy. No industrialist for that matter goes and puts his money or his wealth, he doesn't stack it in pillows or in mattresses and sleeps with it. What does he do? He actually puts it up in companies that provide wealth. And this is an aspect that we need to get over, some of these ideologies that actually are a relic of the socialist past, and start thinking about what is really good for the country. And I think every patriotic Indian really needs to think about these and understand that those demagogues that are actually making you believe that there is this artificial tension, they are demagogues that are actually really exploiting your lack of nuanced understanding on this aspect. And this is really critical to understand. So it's really important that we change that narrative. Respect wealth creators, whether it's a Swiggy, whether it's a Flipkart. All these people have, entrepreneurs have created so many jobs. Think about that person, that person who comes to basically deliver your Swiggy food. If Swiggy was not there, he might have possibly been in his small town, maybe tilling a field, and but compared to that, he's having a better life. Of course, his life can be improved even more, but it is job creation that really provides social and economic inclusion in this country, in anywhere, not only in this country. And therefore, jobs are really critical, and jobs majority are created by the private sector. This is what is really important. Also the private sector, having worked in the private sector and in the government, I can tell you that's where talent is rewarded. And therefore it is really critical that some of the narratives that we have here, which are basically our ideological blinkers, we need to remove these ideological blinkers and look at the data, look at the economic arguments, and and thereby look at the world.